What's up, YouTube? Welcome to another day in HPH Life. I'm going to shoot a different kind of video this morning. I'm going to shoot a video that some of you will get and some of you never will, about what it takes to run a small business in this country today, and just the nightmare that goes on behind the scenes, and the amount of time that you don't get to spend doing what you do for a living, the amount of money that you spend that's absolutely ridiculous just to be in business and to keep bureaucrats and politicians a job, and just in general the ignorance that makes it almost impossible to do what we enjoy. And if you own a small business, you'll probably understand every word of it. And this probably get my insurance canceled, I don't know, or the IRS audit. I'm to a point I don't care. I just want to take a few minutes to rant about it. All the problems come from lawyers, either the ones that couldn't make it as a lawyer, so they became a politician, or the ones that almost couldn't make it as a lawyer, so they became ambulance chasers and suing McDonald's for the coffee being too hot because their client's too ignorant to sip, or the ones that actually make it as a lawyer and still continue to do that because there's money in it and probably set the precedents for most of the insurance companies and stuff. The insanity that goes on with running a small business. I'm going to start with insurance. We're in the process of renewing our insurance right now, and that's a 2-3 month process every time, when it should be real easy. We've started this company and run this company. We've had absolutely zero workman's comp claims. Zero. All the trucks, all the equipment, all the people. We've had one insurance claim, period, that was our fault, which was actually in one of our personal pickup trucks that happens to be on the company insurance. That's the only insurance claim we've had that was our fault. And we've had a couple of claims because people hit us or whatnot and didn't have insurance, didn't have enough insurance. Of course, we live in a state where having insurance is a requirement, but not having enough is not a requirement, as long as you've got a piece of paper. So what people do is they walk in somewhere and get insurance on these buy here, pay here, the general, for example, and then they get them a tag and they're good to go until they have to renew the tag, and they never make a payment on the insurance, so they don't have any. And then when it's time to renew their tag, they go drop another couple of $100 at the general and get them some insurance and do it again. Which is absolutely insane. But that's what all of our insurance, the very few we've had, I guess since we've been in business, I'm sitting here thinking we've probably had 6. 2 were caused by road debris at night, objects in the road that just couldn't be seen. And the rest of it is people hitting us, with one exception. We had the one fender bender that was our fault. But renewing our insurance, you've got these little college kids and lawyers that have no idea what goes on in this building, and they sit around and make up the rules or determinations of what should be insured and what's not. I mean, we go through renewing our insurance. Well, we run a truck shop. Do you weld? Do you weld? Do you do brakes? Do you have another $1 million building for using a torch so that nobody's around? Do you use Freon? Do you use oil? Is there ever diesel fuel in your building? Is there ever any gasoline in your building? You don't have any flammables around here, do you? It's a truck shop, dumbass. It's a truck shop. All of the above apply. Let's go back to the fact that we've been in business all this time without burning a building down, 0 workman's comp claims, and pretty much no insurance claims that are our fault. We've got a pretty good idea of what we're doing. We work very hard to get safely. Half the people that work here is my family. Are we going to do things intentionally to get them hurt? No. Even if it wasn't, the other half of the people here are my family, just not by blood. I realize there's probably businesses out there that's not that way and don't care. In this economy, in this environment we're in today, if you're still working for one of those companies, you're the idiot. You're the idiot. Go find another job. There's 10 million. I know everybody I know that owns a business, that runs it right, pays their employees well, takes care of them like family, can't find enough help. So if you're working for somebody that don't care about you or your safety, you're the idiot. Go find another job. And then we have to spend tons of money on cameras and things like that to try to make sure that when something does happen, the truth comes out, because it's always, in one of these wreckers, it's always the truck's fault. I don't care. We've had a couple instances where the cops show up at wrecks we've had, and it's just straight up our fault, and you've got somebody standing out there talking about how we hit them. My thing on that is, when I show what's on that camera and it proves you're a liar, I want you arrested. I want you sent to prison. The cameras that we've had opportunities or occasions, I guess, where stuff like that's helped us. Even the cameras on our buildings have picked up things that have helped us in situations like that. So we have to spend a ton of money doing that. And then let's talk about the government. Federal, state, local government. Between insurance and taxes of 9 quadrillion different kinds, that's probably 70% of the revenue we generate here. I'll guarantee you it's 60, 70% of the profit that we generate here. Most of us work long hours, long days, generate good revenue, and then we have to pay tax on our property, road use tax, fuel tax, IFTA taxes. We have to buy permits if we drive into another state, which is just another road use tax, fuel tax. We have to buy permits to go in any state we go in. We don't run apportion tags on our records because we don't go out of state enough to justify that. But we have to buy fuel permits and trip permits to go into different states. And then you have somebody that comes to the shop once a year, and they want to know how many desks we have, how many chairs we have, how many computers we have, how many laptops we have, how many crescent wrenches we have, how many wrench sets we have. They look at everything in our building and they inventory it, and we pay another tax on that. And then we pay payroll taxes. And if you've never had a business or never had to deal with that, you think what they take out of your check's bad as an employee. We have to match that as a company. It comes out of your check, it comes out of our check. Where does it stop? Where does the ignorance stop of when you can just run a business and try to make a living and not have to deal with all this? Insurance companies want your money. There's no telling how much we write a month out in the checks for insurance companies. And they want our money, they just don't want any liability. Well, that's what insurance is. You're betting that we won't need it, and you can just get our money, and we're betting that we might need it, and we're gonna need you to cover what happens. And then if something little does happen, you can't turn it in on your insurance. You just have to eat it and pay for it. The only time a small business, any small business with any sense, is ever gonna use their insurance is when something major happens. And then it's a fight, tooth or nail, and things getting drug out forever. And then you've got some ambulance chasing lawyer that can't make a living any other way. And most of the country would hunt for sport if they'd sell us a license. And everybody wants to talk about how bad that lawyer is, how bad these lawyers are. And then you'll be the first one to get that lawyer to sue somebody if you think you can put a few dollars in your pocket. And then you're back to crying about how much it costs to get your truck fixed, or how much it costs to get a haircut, or why coffee went up $1 at McDonald's. But you'll still get that lawyer if you think it's going to put some money in your pocket, and that's 90% of the country. I guarantee you that's 90% of the country. Otherwise, they'd be out of business. and you go see them, and they coach you through how to get a check out of it. I've seen people here back when we were LPing trucks do exactly the same thing. They come in here and cry about how much their insurance is, but then something happens and they run grab a lawyer and sue and limp around for 6 months like they're hurt, except on Friday and Saturday night they ain't hurt. They're fine on Friday, Saturday night. When they got to go to the lawyer's office again Monday and he's coaching them through the chiropractor, they're back to limping and hobbling. That's what's wrong with this country. There's a trillion things we could talk about, but that's what's wrong with this country. The people. The people. Everybody wants something for nothing. Nobody wants ownership of anything. Nobody wants any liability. And it's ridiculous. What does it take to change it? I don't know, maybe. Step one, quit paying people to stay home. Quit paying people to stay home. If you quit paying people to stay home, then they quit voting for freebies. Because that's where a lot of this comes from. We vote for Joe Biden and Kamala and Barack because they're going to give us a phone. They're going to keep putting money on that EBT card. They're going to keep Section 8 housing rolling. They're going to keep giving us something for nothing. Nothing's free. Nothing's free. If you're getting something for free, you're the product. Plain and simple. If somebody's offering you something for free, you're the product. They're selling you or they're buying you. It's one of the two. Anything you get for free. I don't care what it is. You're the product. More people every year in this country don't have enough sense to realize that. Our colleges train people to think that the government can take care of them. Our colleges train people to think that we need to take care of all these illegal aliens piling across the border. Veterans can't get nothing. Illegal aliens get a free place to live. And I know everybody's talking both sides of this on the internet every day. I know that. And still nothing happens. Nothing's done. Where does it stop? Where does the tax rate stop? What's the use of having an insurance company anymore? It's going to come down to you can either afford to self-insure or you can't have a business. And it's close. It's real close to being there. I know a dozen people that have gone out of business because of insurance. Not because they were doing anything wrong. It's because they don't fit some college kid's mold of what is too much liability. They've been doing what they've been doing for years without insurance claims or without doctor bills. But all of a sudden it doesn't fit some kid's mold on what they should be insuring or covering. So you can't get insurance. If you can't get insurance, you're done. You're out of business. You file bankruptcy and go find a job. Then it comes down to all these major companies that can afford to self-insure. That's the ones that's going to be providing these services going forward. Now, when you get it down to where you've got 10 of those nationwide, what do you think it's going to cost to get your truck fixed then? What's it going to cost to get your car fixed? What's a tow going to cost? But everything is heading that way. And it's about controlling you, the people. You, the sheeple. That's all it's about. All of this stuff is about controlling you. Shoving you into a nice little controllable corral. If you don't see that, you're the problem. Plain and simple. You're the problem. If you're out here voting for free stuff, running to a lawyer every time you get bumped at a red light, hobbling to the chiropractor to make it look good, take a little time off, you're the problem. You're out here drawing a disability check because your back hurts and you can't work, but you can go climb in a boat and go fishing. Every one of us knows somebody like that. Or you can go climb a climber and go hunting. Every one of us knows somebody like that. You want your staples for free so you don't have to go get them. You don't have to work for them. But when it's something you want to do, something fun, you have a lot less limitations, physical limitations. It's ridiculous. Yet the folks who work their entire life and pay into Social Security, making good money and paying into Social Security, when it comes time to draw that Social Security, it won't pay their light bill. If they'd taken that same money that they pay into Social Security and just invested it in CDs, hell, if you just put it in an interest-bearing checking account and leave it alone, you'd get 10 times the money off of it. The government can't manage your money. They can't manage their money. All they can do is one for me, one for Ukraine. One for me, one for the illegal aliens piling across our border. Or spend your money in whatever ignorant way will get them the most votes. You're the product. Politicians' primary goal in life is to use our money to buy our vote. How about just leave our money alone? How do we come down to a place where I have to pay taxes to buy a tool, and then I've got to pay taxes to own it? I have to pay taxes to buy a computer, and then I have to pay taxes every year to own it. How do we let that happen? How do we as a country wake up and go, that's okay? I buy a chair and pay sales tax on it when I buy it, and I got to pay taxes on it every year to sit in it. I got to pay taxes on it every year for an employee to sit in it. And then if the insurance company finds out I'm letting an employee sit in it, they won't insure me because they might fall out of it. As stupid as it sounds, it's as real as it gets. And if you own a business, you know how real it is. And all these folks out here working and getting these W-2s and getting these big tax returns and stuff paying in, they own that business. They're getting rich. If you own it, you know the truth. What we're doing is paying in more taxes so the folks who work at McDonald's can get back tax returns they didn't earn. If you're working for minimum wage in this country, it's your decisions that got you there. Plain and simple. Nobody here gets paid minimum wage to sweep the floors. Yeah, you can get $30 an hour at Starbucks. How many people can afford the coffee? How stupid have the people become? How long can a country sustain this thought process? Not much longer. Not much longer. I watch small businesses get folded up every day over the things I'm talking about right now. Every day. And it's been happening for years. All the benefits go to the big businesses, and I don't have anything against the big businesses at all. If you can build it, build it. But all the mom and pop shops are gone. Where you live, can you run down to a mom and pop store locally and get a flapper for your toilet? No. Those are over. There's very few of those left in this country. So you go to Lowe's or Home Depot and pay what they want for it. And they're selling it to you maybe even cheaper because they're bringing it out of China, Taiwan, Korea.
It's not even small places. LL Flooring went out of business the other day.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that?
Yeah.
They're Home Depot's biggest competitor.
That's right. It's not just small businesses anymore. Most of the small businesses have already been folded up. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't even consider us a small business anymore. We're really not. We're probably competitive with, most large truck shops in the country at what we do. I know we're competitive at how well we do it. But these dealerships can afford to go out here and self-insure. They can go out and put a couple of $1 million in an account right off the bat and self-insure. Small businesses, big small businesses can't afford to do that. That's how a lot of things are going. That's how a lot of things are going to fall, is through insurance. And it's coming rapidly. And it makes no sense. At all. Think about it. Think about what happens when there are no jobs left. If everybody is going to Lowe's and buying those toilet flappers from Korea, you're buying your vinyl flooring from China, how are you going to make your living? How are you going to make enough money to pay for it? Eventually you're not. There's so many jobs in this country that are gone and never coming back because politicians are getting paid to ship them overseas. And we eat that up because we can buy that Chinese stuff cheaper. I've been in a Walmart twice in 11 years. That's where a lot of that stuff started. And I just don't do it. If I have an option, I don't care if it does cost me more. If I have an option, I'll go somewhere other than Walmart. I'll go somewhere other than Lowe's. I'll go somewhere other than Home Depot. If I have to drive farther and pay a little more. If I can buy a product that an American produced that created a job to put it on that shelf for me to pick it up, that's what I'm buying. Every time. And if you don't do that, don't cry when your job goes away. You're the problem. You sold your job off the shelf of Walmart. You sold your job off the shelf at Lowe's. You sold your job off the shelf at Home Depot. You voted your job to China. You're the problem. And if you're not the problem, you need to be helping people understand what is the problem and why they are the problem every chance you get. Look around at some of these other countries. Look at Greece. Look at Venezuela. Look at what happens when you get put in that corral. Look at what happens when the sheep will get hemmed up. When you start getting hungry, you want it to change. It's probably too late. It's probably too late when you start getting hungry. It's probably too late when your kids are crying because there's nothing to feed them. There's no bread in the stores. Look at some of these places. Look at what happens. I meet people every day that has no concept of where the government's money come from. And it's mind-boggling to me. It comes out of my pocket and your pocket. Now, a lot of those folks don't know where it comes from. Not much of it's coming out of their pocket. That's the reason they don't have any need to know where it comes from. They know where some of it's going. It's going to their house. I stand in line down at the Piggly Wiggly and I watch folks who can't even speak English, not a word of it. There's no way they're here legally. And they will they'll throw beer and cigarettes and all the things they can't pay for with the EBT card up there first, and they'll pull wads of cash out where y'all are working them and paying them, because you can work them less than an American, a lot of you, and you're paying them, and they go get that check cashed, and they send half of it back to Mexico, and they keep the rest to buy what they can't buy with an EBT card or pay rent. And then you watch them put all the groceries up on the conveyor, and they swipe that EBT card. You're the one paying for it. That's where the money comes from. It comes out of your pocket. If you have a job, it's coming out of your pocket. We don't owe them that. I've no issue with people coming here legally. None. I have no problem with that whatsoever. But we can't keep giving out government assistance to anybody that'll walk across our border. I see them making videos and putting them up on platforms about how smart they are because they came here and found somebody and had a kid, and now they don't get sent back, and they sit and wait on their check to come every month. Y'all have seen them. Stop ignoring it. There's got to be some major changes. And if not, it's going to be over soon. And then it'll be too late to fix it. And everybody will want something different.